with comedian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So it's a bit of a heartbreaking day today. I had to do something I didn't really want to do, but that's fucking life, isn't it? When you're down, it will fucking step on your throat. So I sold my piano today. The dream is, I'm not going to say it's over. It's not fucking over. Let's just say my dream has been put on hold until I get to India. Because the first thing I'm going to fucking do when I get to India is buy a fucking piano. Just straight from the airport to the music store. No stopping. No stopping for chai. No stopping for pani puri. No stopping for a fucking cheap packet of cigarettes. Because I'm definitely getting back on the darts when I get over to India. I would say that's almost 100% certain. I have been absolutely stinging for a fucking dart lately, but I can't bring myself to pay $40 fucking for a pack of 20. I can't. It's against my principles. I also can't remember if it's principal or principal. I used to know, but I've forgotten now. Another thing I've forgotten is past. P-A-S-T and P-A-S-S-E-D. When I've been going to say my nana passed away, I get confused whether it's the P-A-S-T or the P-A-S-S-E-D one. I've had to Google that a few times. So yeah, I sold my piano. It was a heart-wrenching decision, to be honest with you. But I only really had two fucking options. I could pack it up, put it in a box, which is already too much hard work for me, and leave it at my old man's place until I get back. Just laying there like a heap of plastic shit. No one enjoying the melodies it could potentially create. So I didn't like that option, and the other option was obviously to fucking sell it. And so we put it up on Facebook Marketplace, and a guy offered me $600 for it. I'm like, I don't want to sell to this guy. This guy obviously doesn't believe in himself. If you have a dream to learn the piano, do you look at secondhand pianos? No, you wouldn't. If you believed in yourself, you would go out there and you would buy an expensive, brand new fucking piano, only to be sold at half the price you paid for it a fucking year later. That is someone who believes in themselves. Secondhand piano. I had no respect for him. I'm like, you don't believe in yourself. I'm not fucking selling it to you. I want someone with a little bit of fucking courage. So I said no to this cunt. Well, I actually said, hold on. I said, hold on, let me ask my mate. My mate was thinking about buying it. And he has a little bit more fucking courage than you. So I said to my mate, a guy's offered me $800. A guy's offered me $800 for this piano. Do you want to buy it at around $700? I can do mates rates for you. That's how I am. I'm the Boyle. I look after friends. And my mate who thought he was going to get it for $300 is like, $700 is a little bit steep. And I'm like, listen, $650 is the lowest I can go. You're getting a stand, you're getting a piano stool. I can even throw in the little piano book that I bought for my kid/me. And he's like, I'm not too sure, man. I'm like, have some courage, man. If you want to learn to play like Mozart, you've got to have the heart of Mozart. Follow in my footsteps. And he's like, all right, $600. I'll do it for $600. I'm like, sold. And I sent a message to the other guy who wanted the piano. I'm like, you make me fucking sick. You make me and other piano players like me fucking sick. But that's the way it's going. We're just selling everything. It's a fucking clearance sale out here. My wife sold the couch, the coffee table, and the TV cabinet. And she organized for the people to pick it up in the first week of March, which is 2 weeks before we fucking leave. I'm like, what are we going to do without a couch and a coffee table and a TV stand for 2 fucking weeks? You know what I mean? That's going to be a little bit of a rough 2 weeks without a couch, isn't it? But anyway, that is that. And let's move on to the newest new segment on this I'm Quitting Alcohol podcast, Ask Boyle. I've been avoiding it for 3 fucking weeks now. But let's start this new segment that may last only about 2 weeks. I've been getting really good hypotheticals as well. Ever since I stopped hypotheticals, I've been inundated with fucking good hypotheticals. So I might have to bring hypotheticals back for a couple of weeks here and there and disguise it as Ask Boyle. I don't have a jingle for Ask Boyle yet. That's the problem. That's why I haven't started it yet. That and I don't want to think. But what's a fucking song with ask in it so I can jingle? Ask me a question. All I want is the truth. Ask me a question and I'll give you the truth. That sort of sounds like it was in a play or something, doesn't it? Just ask me some questions. Anyway, I'll work out the fucking jingle next week. If it's still going next week. Anyway, let's get to it. So this week I was asked a question. Well, it wasn't this week I was asked this question. I was asked this question about 4 months ago. And I liked the question, but I wanted to take some time to think about it because it's quite an in-depth question and I needed to ponder about it for a while. Well, I didn't end up pondering at all, so I'm pretty much just going to fucking wing this question, and it's asking me for fucking 10 parts to the question. I don't think I'm going to get the full 10. Anyway, here's the question. It's from my man Luke Rose out there in the UK. He had COVID actually, recovered from it. Conspiracy? I think so. Okay, so Rosie asks, what would your 10 commandments of sobriety be? No bullshit. An all-out how-to guide for rejects and degenerates. No mercy. 10 commandments. Fucking 10. You love putting me to work, don't you? Fucking 10 commandments. Even God was struggling to come up with 10 commandments. He was petering out by the fucking end. Thou shalt not bear false witness to thy neighbor. Is that even a thing? Come on, God, you can do better than that. Thou shalt not covet. See what I mean? Even God only had like 6 good ones. Thou shalt not take the Lord's name in vain. I tell you who's vain? You, God. That's a big ego move you just pulled there. Anyway, let's get started. I'll see how deep into the 10 I get. So my first one would be you need to have something that you love more than drinking. And that's a fucking tough one. And I think that's why a lot of people fucking fail. Is because they have nothing they actually love more than drinking. I suppose when you look at it, that's like having a good reason to quit. But you need to have something that you fucking love more than drinking. And it could be anything. It could be piano like me. It could be kids. It could be partner. It could be a job. It could be a hobby. It could be any of that bullshit, really. But the trick is you want to love yourself more than you love booze. That's kind of why you're drinking in the first place, because the booze makes you like yourself a little bit more. Obviously until the next day. So it really has to be an internal change. So, for example, you can't say, I'm quitting drinking for my wife, or I'm quitting drinking for my kids. What you got to say is, I'm quitting drinking because I want to be a better husband. I'm quitting drinking because I want to be a better father. I'm quitting drinking because I want to be a better piano player. I want to share the music in my soul with the world. If you just sort of reframe it like that, I feel like you're a better chance. Because if you say, I'm quitting for my wife, what if your fucking wife leaves you? There's the reason that you quit drinking gone. And you'll eventually just start drinking again. You know what I mean? Is this making any sense? So I guess in the end, it is you want to have something that you love more than booze. And that thing better be yourself. You can use external triggers. You can use them as a reason. But all of it needs to be done internally. Okay, that's 1. How long did that fucking take? 2. I'm not going to get many more than 3, I don't think. Okay, let's move on to fucking 2. Number 2 is you need a creative outlet. For me, that is a non-negotiable. It's probably the most important thing you need. It's the only way to redirect all that fucked up addictive energy. You need to channel it into something creative. And I've said this before, it can be fucking anything. It can be cooking, it can be writing, it can be just about anything in the world. Riding bikes, skateboarding, all of it. But you need an outlet, otherwise you're just going to find another crutch. You know what I mean? You're just going to replace booze with cigarettes or jerking off or fucking sex or eating something. You'll just go from one addiction to another addiction. And everything's a fucking addiction. Anything that is an input is an addiction. Anything coming in is an addiction. You want to be trading the inputs for the outputs. You need to be outputting. And when I say this, you don't have to be good at it either. That's what people get fucking worried about. I'm not creative. Who gives a fucking flying fuck if you're not creative? Do something creative and just let it be shit. Don't fucking show anyone. Just be shit at it. There is a fucking joy at being shit at something as well. There really is. You sit back and you go, Jesus Christ, I fucking suck. That's kind of fun. And I'll tell you this as well. You don't stay shit at things for very long. You'll just get bored. You're not doing the same thing over and over. Slowly, even if you're not trying to, you get better at things. It's just naturally how it works. So you need that creative outlet. There's no way around it in my book. And if you don't know what to do, just choose something, anything. Start training dogs. Start building aquariums. It can literally be fucking anything. But you need the creative outlet. And that is number 2. And I really can't do any more. The fucking time's run out. They're the 2 big ones anyway. That's thou shalt not kill and thou shalt not fucking steal. I'll have a think about it. I'll continue it next week. But for now, that's fucking enough. If you're enjoying the podcast, give it a share around. Add me on social media. I'm Boyle Comedy on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And I'll see ya the fuck later.